Hello everyone and welcome in to this presentation of the Sportsman series as part of the PRA Stock Series here on the PRA Network. I'm going to be host for Night 81 and welcome back in to the season finale for this inaugural season of the Sportsman series. As these drivers make their way to Northern Isle Speedway, they will be currently in a pre-heat qualifying session. That's what we are tuning into at the current moment. So, to break down what's going on, last week of the season, 5-week season, with this inaugural test series, though obviously we're still counting it, this is a championship. The championship will be awarded tonight, as coming into this race, currently it's Rum Runner and Phil, who are fighting for the top spots. It's pretty much just those two in contention. We see Rum Runner in this lobby with the Chevys, and I believe some Toyotas, but let's take a look. Rum Runner here in the Home Depot car, currently the points leader with 2 wins to his name. Seeing if he can get a third done tonight, but it's going to be a trick because unlike any other of the races so far, Northern Isle is a completely different beast. We're going to be going for 100 laps tonight. So it's going to be an endurance test of not getting dizzy, test of just sticking in there and getting through the race. Really tough track here with the oval. It's not going to be like Daytona where you just slipstream your way through full speed. Northern Isle with the banking and just the overall short distance of the track makes it a very challenging place to race. But we are 3 minutes into this 5-minute qualifying session. So, as I said, how this is going to work for tonight is a 5-minute qualifying session is first held. That will determine the grid for the heat. Then, to actually get our qualifying order, we're going to go through a 10-lap heat race. So there's this qualifying lobby, and then there's another qualifying lobby going on at the same time. It will be the top 7 finishers from each heat. So the top 7 finishers in the final race of this qualifying session, and the top 7 from the other lobby, will be the 14 drivers that make up the grid of our 100-lap main event tonight. We see with the qualifying times, it's actually Yurt who is on top currently with a 15.954. But most of the times are going to be rather tight and similar here with the distance of the oval being considered. As you see, the time differential between Yurt and Racer Chick is less than 0.2 with the top 3, with Racer Chick only being 2 thousandths off of Rum Runner in second place. Apologies, 2 thousandths ahead of Nitro. And you can see as this lap counter goes up, this is supposed to be only 5 minutes of qualifying, but you can see how the laps fly here as we're already on lap 17. As most of our drivers get around to their final lap. As it looks like Yurt will hold on to the lead with Rum Runner in second, Racer Chick in third, and the rest of the drivers you see there, Nitro, John, Hufu, Shaggy, SFD, Kai Cats, and Jay Filla. That will be your lineup for this qualifying A session. Reminder that this is not going to be our final qualifying order for the race, as with ovals we run heat races. This first session was to get the starting order for the heat session. So after this, now we'll have a 10-lap heat race here around Northern Isle, and the top 7 finishers from this lobby will make it to the main event, with Heat A we're currently in, and Heat B going to be going on concurrently. In this Heat A lobby, let's take a look. We have, obviously, our championship standings leader, Rum Runner, in the 51 Home Depot car, with all the other point standing leaders behind him being forwards, so they're all going to be in the other lobby. But Rum Runner kind of in a world of his own. But if you take a look down, the next person down in the championship standings in this lobby is Yurt, the owner of D-Boy Racing, in 7th, and for this heat race we'll be starting on the pole, with the only time under a 16-second. So very strong time for Yurt here at the Oval, really coming into his own here in the last week of the season. His teammate, Buzz and Bile, not in the race tonight. After that, we have Hufu, who is racing as a free agent in the 59 Caterpillar car. He's going to be starting in 6th for this race. Let's take a look at some of the close battles we can see out of this lobby. So, Hufu is only 4 points behind Yurt. And then from there's a bit of a gap. We do have a few Toyotas in this lobby, so we can talk about them. Racer Chick, just coming into the season late, but she is in 12th. And she is making a run up the leaderboard really quickly. So, with a strong finish tonight, she could even get into the top 10 after starting 2 weeks late here in the Sportsman series. 21 points in pretty much 2 weeks is just insane. She's coming as an unrestricted free agent, so next season anyone's welcome to pick her up. Not this season during the middle of the season, but once we get to the off season, I'm almost certain she's going to have a few looks going her way from some of the teams who need some help down in the Sportsman series. Or Racer Chick might even make the bump up to Challenger or even Elite. We will have to see how that goes over the off season. Yeah, Racer Chick could easily catch Hufu in the points. So Racer Chick sitting with 21 points, Hufu sitting with 26 points. That is a gap from 9th place to 12th place, but all of the drivers in this Sportsman series really from 9th or even 8th down to 14th, 15th, they're within like only a few points of each other, so really have to take a look there to see how that's going to go. As we head to the track now, as we're about to start our heat race for the A lobby. We'll hop on with Yurt in the Jimmy Johnson-inspired 48 Lows, side by side with Rum Runner in his free agent 51 car as they make the way around the 1-2 corners of first turn banking. Reminder everyone, this is Heat A here. This is not the main event, this is going to be Heat A. The top 7 drivers in this lobby will make it to the 100th lap main event. As we round turns 3 and 4, Yurt and Rum Runner looking to get us started here. As we make it to the yellow line, that is our start line here at Northern Isles. We are green, green, green. Rum Runner with an amazing jump off the start, really getting a gap from the rest of the pack. Let's see if the others can catch him though, but he's really making himself noticed. We have a big collision in the back. We're going to take a look here. It's Hufu, SFD, and Jay Filla. Very unfortunate incident for them, especially considering I don't think we're going to be having cautions in this heat race. I do not believe we run yellow flags in the heat. It's just green to the end. So very unfortunate break for those drivers who's really going to need something to happen up here for a chance to make the main event, especially Hufu catching a horrible break after I was talking about how he was sitting in the standings. Racer Chick we're going to take a look at now. Really slicing and dicing her way up the order, does bump the wall. That's going to be a pretty common sight here tonight with cars running up wide in that wall. As you see Shaggy now doing it on the front straight. Lap 5 of 11. You see how quickly these laps fly. Feel like you're going around in circles forever. Next thing you know, it's almost over and you have to make a move. But Rum Runner's got the gap on basically the whole pack, with Yurt in second. John trying to reel Yurt in. Taking the high line to get some more momentum on the straight, but that's risky. But he does get the good line, but Yurt does have the gap from taking the inside line. Really 2, even 3 groove racing here at the Northern Isle Speedway, as really any option because of this banking is going to be viable depending on how you want to take it. But Yurt is an amazing Rum Runner. And Yurt all of a sudden takes the lead. Rum Runner is going to look to the inside now. If this heat is anything to indicate how the race is going to go tonight, this is going to be a fun one to watch as John kind of gives a little nudge to Rum Runner into the wall, gets past him, but Rum Runner's still right there. Racer Trick runs wide of the wall, Nitro takes advantage, going to look to the outside of Rum Runner. Man, again, if this heat is any indication, my voice is going to be gone by halfway. So, apologies for that. But you do see, so the top 6 is pretty comfortable. So again, this is the race that, as great as the racing is here, doesn't necessarily matter. Yurt is spinning with lap traffic and trying to make it around the inside. SFD kind of defending. Kind of just an awkward encounter. Here's SFD is around and almost gets into Racer Chick. Let's see if Shaggy can clear him. He can. But with this lead lap to the end, we're going to take a look at the leaders here. But the main race to watch is really going to be for 7. Since Shaggy has a clear jump on the rest of the back, as Yurt is like a hot knife through butter as he makes it through a round. Turns 3 and 4, but John's getting the run down the inside. Yurt takes the checkered flag. Let's see who takes 7. Hufu makes his way around, and he's going to make the final cut just barely after the wreck at the start of the race. But he's going to slide in 7th place and secure his spot in the main event. What a race. Just 10 laps. We get that, but 10 times better. So be sure to stick around and watch this for sure, since it's going to be a feat. Certainly an event to pop off and just full send-off of this inaugural season. It's been great racing so far already this season. And such a strong showing from these drivers all season. Making it to this main event. Gonna send us off with some fireworks to celebrate Season 1. But now we're gonna go check on the other lobby, the B Heat, and see how they are going in their race. If they have started or even finished. I do believe they have concluded. So we will patiently wait here until we get the final qualifiers for the main event of the race. Yeah, welcome in everybody who's just coming in. We just concluded our qualifying sessions. So we had a pre-heat qualifier to determine the order. Then we hosted a 10-lap heat race, 2 10-lap heat races. The top 7 from each lobby would be ending up making the final event. So the main event for tonight is here at Northern Isle, 100 laps. A marathon around the oval to conclude this inaugural Sportsman series here is part of the stock series. As it looks like Yurt potentially will be holding the pole for this race. Amazing showing from him throughout with the fastest qualifying time and as well winning his heat. As in fact, we will be able to catch the second heat. So we're going to head over to the qualifying B lobby as they've had some technical difficulties. But the plus side of this means we're going to be able to watch these guys go at it and race. They've already gone through their first heat race, or their first qualifying, so they're going to have their 11-lap heat race to go through here. So we can take a look at the drivers in this lobby and see who makes it through. So Phil, predictably enough, is on purple laps currently. Phil sitting in second for the qualifying for the championship standings coming into this last week of the season. only 3 points off of Rum Runner. So the fight between them tonight is going to be probably the fight to watch here. 100 laps around to see who survives up front the furthest. Tell you what, these two guys, Rum Runner and Phil, they've pretty much gone through it all. In each race, some catastrophe happens and they somehow stay alive, especially last week at Tsukuba. The turn 1 just pile up there. Phil starting towards the back, but somehow making it through unscathed, even though there didn't really seem a possible way to do it. But somehow, next thing you know, it's him and Rum Runner up at the front of the pack, yet again, as always. But aside from them, let's take a look through the rest of the pack. As I believe our third place driver, I'm not sure if he's even here, but that would be Nitro. Looks like we are going to get started here for qualifying. Looks like Nitro didn't make it. That's very unfortunate. But next up in the standings, with still somewhat of a shot here, at least to get top 3 for sure, is Perry, the Canadian in the 74 GoPro car, free agent driver as well, towards the top of the pack, in 4th place with 36 points. John is sitting in 5th place. Let's see if we can find him on track. Alright, I believe John was in the other lobby, apologies. John was 5th, 35 points. Let's see. Root Metal is 6th in the standings with 32 points. So all these guys are within fighting distance of each other. Yurt in the other lobby, going to be the pole sitter, also only 2 points behind Root Metal. So he could be looking for a top 5 in the point standing after tonight. But this race is going to have a lot at stake here, as this is the first inaugural season of the Stock Series. As part of the Sportsman Series, we are way green with our second heat lobby of the night. Reminded, the top 7 drivers from this race will be the ones who make it to the main event. Unfortunately, as much as we wish we could bring everyone along, we can't. We have a 4 wide into turn 3 and 4. I don't know what they're thinking here, but they make it through alive just barely. Maybe on a bit of a life support there. Heart attacks induced, but we are through. As now we have Outlaw all the way up to the front, JP Chips in 2nd, Merman and Perry, the Canadian Invasion, in 3rd and 4th, making their way up to fight Chips and Outlaw. Perry going to make his way, look around Merman at least. Again, lap time in this race does not matter, it's your finishing position. So you have 10 laps for this heat, and it's going to be the top 7 finishers. Thank you, Saturn. Nitro was in Lobby A. I had missed that, to be honest. As we have someone into the wall, let's take a look who that was. That was Vanilla Bear in the 66, running wide on the front straight, getting bumped out to the wall. Catch back up front, sparks flying as they rub against the walls as well, with Phil, Merman, Buzz and Bile, Perry, all of these guys. And you see the 2 leaders, Chips and Outlaw, side by side. Yet again, awesome racing, just very small sample size, so we're going to see how far these guys make it alive. I'm sure in the main race we're going to have some collisions occur, but at the current moment, as we said, no cautions for this heat, so these guys got to keep it together and hope they don't wreck or do something stupid and get themselves wrecked out. Speaking of, we have Perry going 3 wide with Outlaw and Chips in turns 3 and 4. Very impressive racing here as we see these leaders here pretty much jostling for position. Outlaw, Perry, Chips, and Bile. Buzz and Bile does make this race. This is Yurt's teammate. Okay, so that's actually reminded myself. Oh, Chips, what a save! Yeah, so this isn't, so since manufacturers aren't important for who makes into the race, all of the lobbies are just kind of jumbled across each other, so apologies, that's my confusion for that. But we do have the leaders side by side onto yellow, or onto white flags. Perry, Outlaw, Bile right there in shot, with 4th, 5th, and 6th behind. And yet again, the top 6 getting a gap to the rest of the pack. We're going to have to see who comes in 7th. Perry's going to come across the line with the win. Bile in 2nd. And a good race with 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's Vanilla Bear who takes 7th and secures the final spot into the main event. There's going to be Vanilla Bear, JP Chips, Merman, Phil, Buzzin' Bob, Outlaw, and Perry, who make the final cut from Heat B. But now, our next step is actually getting all of our qualifying competitors together. The top 14, top 7 from each heat will be placed together in the same lobby with B-Dog, our official, and we will see how we make it around 100 laps here at Northern Isle. Lap time's really short, so you might be thinking in your head 100 sounds like a lot. And to be fair, for these drivers, might get a bit dizzy having to go around 100 times in a circle. But it really doesn't go by that slow. As you saw there, I mean, we got through 10 laps in about 3 minutes. So we're going to see here for the main event how long these guys can make it through. The only thing that might slow this race down is if drivers collide into one another, which, to be fair, bumping up into these walls, coming back down to the track, I would have my money on some cautions coming out tonight. I know these drivers have been very good for most of the season about not bringing out any yellow flags, but Northern Isle's a different beast here. With the banking, you might expect to bank it around faster than you can. Going 3 wide, it's not always going to work. Sometimes when it works, it looks super impressive, and it really looks awesome, but sometimes that can go wrong. Just wrong, really fast. So we're going to see how these drivers manage with that tonight. As we wait to get this thing all put together for our main event, let's once again take a breakdown of what to expect tonight. This is the last week of the inaugural season of the Sportsman Series and the Stock Series as a whole. We do still have other Stock Series races on Wednesday and Thursday, tomorrow being Wednesday with the Challenger Series, and then Thursday to wrap up our inaugural season of the Stock Series with the Elite Racers. We see those drivers make their way to Grand Valley as one of the newer tracks in the game. So everyone, I mean, it's been a popular track in the old games, but a lot of drivers in this new game may not be familiar with the track compared to some, so that's going to be a different challenge for most guys. But focusing back on here tonight at Northern Isle, the second speedway of the season for the Sportsman drivers. First one was the season opener at Daytona, but 2 very different tracks with 2 very different driving styles. So Daytona, I mean, you didn't have to break it all. It's just who can get the best draft train going. But here at Northern Isle, it's a completely different story with the tight banking corners. But still mostly full out with these Sportsman cars. That being said, it's still a trick, especially if you're side by side going into the corner. So we're going to have to see tonight how the drivers manage with that. You may see some drivers lift off a little bit. You may see some drivers go full send and see some drivers end up in the wall, possibly with the big one coming out tonight here at Northern Isle. 100 laps, 100 times around to get it perfect. I don't know if everyone could do that. I don't doubt these guys at all, but it's a very tall, tough task, especially with the fatigue, the mental fatigue you have to go through going in circles that consistently and that fast. We're having a little bit of trouble here. Let me see real quick. There we go, as we head into the main race lobby here with the bright lights up tonight. Seeing the stars here at Northern Isle as we're going to be racing under the floodlights through the night as we make our way. It's going to be a very fun event tonight, as you can see the bright... Jesus, I need some new vocabulary. But can these drivers perform under these bright lights? Great transition there as we see Nitro Racer Chick Rum Runner getting some practice on the track before we get going green here for our season finale. It's going to be a fun watch for sure, as we're going to see some strategies involved as well. Definitely may see some hits going on with 100 laps to get through. Some drivers may take hard tires, some drivers may take soft tires, and pretty much all the strategies above, as for the first time in the Sportsman series, the pit strategy is really going to be important, as every race up until now has been short enough to not require a pit, but here it's more the tire wear, especially on soft tires, making around 100 laps, especially with the sharp banking and full speed going through here. Those tires aren't going to make it all the way, and they'll send you careening into the barricades. So we're going to see who takes soft tires and who takes hard tires, and what kind of pit strategies will be at play as these drivers try to survive 100 laps here at Northern Isle. as we're sitting here about to get this race started here in just a few short minutes, 100 laps around the Northern Isle Speedway. Everyone, let me know your thoughts on who you think will win this race tonight, who you're backing. And for everyone watching this live or after the fact, please, yet again, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos, as that is very appreciated, as it helps spread our influence around, as we're still growing this league here. Still going strong with this inaugural stock series, but strong future to come for the PRA. As I know Saturn is backing his boys, Ring of Saturn. Let's take a look. The Rings of Saturn guys, being Phil and Nitro, sitting in second and third for the Sportsman series, and Rings of Saturn as a whole sitting in second place in the franchise standings after week 4. So they have a very strong shot at winning the entire franchise championship standings, as well as possibly getting a driver to win this challenge or this Sportsman series race tonight, as Phil is the driver in contention with Rum. As we get these guys getting their donut fixes out of the way before the race. But yeah, Phil, 3 points behind Rum Runner. So Rum Runner and Phil are the two drivers to watch tonight, as those two guys will be going at it. 3 points separate the two to decide this inaugural Sportsman Series championship, with Nitro not too far behind himself, the teammate of Phil. Those two are going to be working together to get things going for their team, as we are now on the grid, as we're going to take a pace lap around, led by Yurt and Perry up front, as we're finally about to go green racing here at Northern Isle. As we get the drivers to situate themselves around the track. John's going to be starting behind Yurt, so that's going to be a pretty strong start for him. Nitro sitting in 5th place, with Buzz and Bile on the outside. Bile and Yurt are teammates, those two guys trying to make a late season push into possibly the top 5. We see Yurt take the field around, as we are going green, green, green here for the final race of this inaugural Sportsman Series. Apologies, I got a little ahead of myself. Taking another pace lap around. Exciting to see these cars going around Northern Isle as the night descends upon us. The light hitting Yurt and Perry and John and everyone else behind. But can these drivers shine bright here tonight, as now we take ourselves around, and we are now green, green, green here at Northern Isle Speedway, as for this first lap here, Yurt and John getting into it a bit. We see the other drivers getting around turns 1 and 2 into 3 and 4. This is going to be a lot to watch, but we have Yurt leading the pack, getting himself a bit of a gap. John behind, Nitro behind as well, beating and banging, bumping and riding as we hit through to the back straight of turn 4. Yurt in the lead, John in 2nd, Nitro in 3rd, Rum Runner in 4th, Racer Chick and Perry side by side for 5th and 6th, as we're going to see some side by side a lot during this race, even some 3 wides, as we're getting to see now with Perry, Racer Chick and Outlaw. 5 laps in, already some side by side action, overtakes galore. We're going to see how these drivers make it through these 100 laps. Reminder that pit strategies will be in play tonight with the tire wear and such. Some drivers, I don't know if some drivers might be able to stick it through, but I don't know how long their fuel's going to last either, so that's another factor to watch out for. Take a peek behind Outlaw, see the drivers in the back banging off the start straight wall. A lot of these drivers will be going wide, trying to push as much as they can out of the car. through these banked corners. Since, though it's such a tight turn, this such sharp banking at Northern Iowa really allows the cars to go full speed through. Maybe a little tap to the wall, still keep speed. You really don't want to bang into that wall too much, as you will lose time from it. Let's take a look at the 2 leaders as Nitro's really in Yurt. Gonna take a look for the undercut into turn 1 as we have someone around up front as Buzz and Bile needs to stay low as Yurt is gonna make the undercut on Nitro now that Nitro has taken the lead from him here. Nitro and Yurt fighting for this lead as we have another car around on the front straight. It is Merman. Gotta make around lap traffic. Lap traffic already becoming a factor here, as such a short track will mean a lot of cars going around with lap traffic and such getting in the way and getting in play, as these lap drivers are not going to want to fight, or they're not going to want to not fight. They're going to want to keep their positions as much as they can so they can stay on the lead lap. You see Vanilla Bear, Shaggy making the cut tonight with JP, Chips, Bufu, and Merman behind them. Merman trying to make his way back up the pack, in fact, trying to get himself unlapped. But you see this fight for 12th through 9th, 8th even, as Villanova is going to make the run on Phil and get into 8th. We have Racer Chicken and Perry side by side as Perry smushes Racer Chicken to the wall. Perry himself getting ping-ponged down low. Those 2 drivers get caught up together as we have sparks flying up front again with John trying to keep his car off the wall. Outlaw and John trying to make his way around Merman. John's going to make this opportunity count for Outlaw, as he's going to go for the inside line through turn 1. Let's see if he can get it done here on Outlaw as we make it to the back straight and turns 3 and 4. Merman still sticking the outside. Another car losing traction already, as that is Buzz and File again, I believe. Traction already becoming issues for these drivers tonight, as keeping the cars on the track here becoming issues. Yeah, you see these tires, these racing softs, only 16 laps in and they're already toast. Mermaid is around on the front straight again. Let's see if he can get out of the way of these 3 wide. He can. They take the high line, as we see these cars really trying to, at this point, it's a fight for life, not a fight for position. But we do have a fight for position up front, as Yurt's going to get past Nitro. You see those front right tires, my goodness. I mean, that's the downside of taking it full out on these banked corners. The drivers with the hard tires may be looking in a pretty strong position here. They are a little bit slower to get around the track. You see John in 5th on hard tires. He's not going to have to pit as early. He's not losing grip as quickly, so he's going to be able to stick himself out there a little bit longer than most of these guys who took racing softs. See Merman down low again. Vanilla's going to take a look to the inside of Phil. Phil's slipping down the pack a little bit, so that's something to look at. Yurt's going to be the first car in to take new tires. So Phil falling down, Rum Runner looking to really extend his gap for the lead and solidify the championship here. As Yurt, as mentioned before, is going to fall to the back of the pack, taking his first pit. But you do have Rum Runner trying to get his way around Racer Chick here, more lap traffic, as he's going to make his way to catch up with Nitro, who's now taking the lead himself. Nitro and Rum Runner, the teammates for Saturn. He is really taking this lead here. King Saturn's going to be very ecstatic to see this right now with these 2 drivers just dominating the pack right now. Rum Runner in 2nd, trying to hold off Racer Chick and about to lap Yurt, who already took tires, I will mention. So a lot of this right now is the lead pack trying to contend with lap traffic and drivers who are making their pits early. Yurt being the first one to make his pit early, as mentioned. As you see, he's on new, fresh racing softs. He's going to be a bit faster on this track than most guys, so he's hoping this gamble will pay off, as most of the cars on this track are struggling for grip, especially as you see Nitro here. Yurt has so much more grip than Nitro compared to his tires. As we're going to take a look at his car now. You can see at the bottom left, tire gauge, racing softs, front right and back right are completely shot already. As you see, Rum Runner in 2nd, same issue. Vanilla Bear on the racing hards, those are even deteriorated. John behind him in 4th, Outlaw in 5th. Outlaw going a little bit slow here. Phil's in 6th. Merman's going to look to undercut both of them. JP Chip's going to have a run on both of them now as well. Chips on the inside of Phil. Buzzing by behind all this lap traffic, trying to fight their way up the pack. As you see, Bile trying to make a move there. Not going to happen. JP Chips and Phil still side by side. Checking onto the leaders now. Nitro with a gap. Rum Runner in 2nd. Yurt's running 2nd, but not really. Yurt was the leader. He's going to fight for the lead yet again, except a lap down himself. Maybe a smart call, though, to take those tires early. Just go ahead and make sure you don't sacrifice the grips. I mean, who knows? You don't want to be spinning around here on the track, as you saw a few drivers already do it. You see those drivers are back towards the pack. Back towards the back of the pack. Next off is Perry, off of the hard tires, which is interesting to see. Interesting decision from Perry, being the next driver out off the hards. But Hufu and 10th got a little bit of the tire smoke in here. You see how fast these guys are pushing. You see a lot of hard tire drivers coming in now, possibly to stick together. Let's see, that is John and JP Chips. So, yeah, the Lost Luck Racing guys coming in together on the same strategy so they can stick together. I still think it's an interesting call to do that on hard tires, but to each their own. We're going to see if that strategy to stick together is going to pay off for those two. Vanilla Bear the next in, also off the hard tires to keep that grip going. But these leaders still holding strong on their racing softs. But you see the gap Yurt has pulled off these drivers. You see really quick Merman looking inside of Fufu. But yeah, let's take a pop up as Vanilla Bear is now heading in. Yurt all the way back up to 5th, and look at the gap he's got to the leaders now all the way back there. You can see how much faster the fresh racing softs are to the worn racing softs, or even the worn hards. As Yurt's going to storm his way back up the pack, hopefully trying to catch Nitro and Rum Runner by the time they have to pit themselves. Or those guys might just not pit. Just survive with the wear and try to fight the car as much as they can. You see Vanilla Bear and Phil side by side. Phil all the way up to 3rd now, tailing Rum Runner. So, Phil back with the fight. JP Chips here with Vanilla Bear, and I'm sure John isn't too far behind himself. You see this fight for first, going to heat up now as Rum Runner has taken lead from Nitro. Nitro's going to look to fight back though, but again, probably not going to fight too hard. These two just work together to get through this race, as they are teammates for a team that may be winning the franchise standings this season. These two guys also 2nd and 3rd themselves, so they don't want to compromise their chances of victory. Phil is going to be the next car in, as you see a lot of different strategies at play here with the tires being so fragile here at this track. Some drivers trying to stick through it, some drivers getting off as quick as they can, some drivers going with hard tires. And some drivers even pitting off hard tires pretty early to keep that grip just consistent, which I think is a fair decision, honestly. I thought about it as a bit questionable, but I mean, I see what they're doing with just keeping the grip at all times. As you see Outlaw and Perry fighting. Let's take a look at Perry's car, Racer Chick and Bile side by side. Hufu and John. John's going to get the undercut on Hufu and take 6th place from him. Both drivers on Racing Hard. Vanilla Bear right in the mix as well. And JP Chips here, so this is going to be a pretty tight fight for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Beastie Fufu, compared to the other 3 drivers, just has no chance in that fight. So that shows the power of just having tires that have grip. So that's something Rum Runner and Nitro are going to have to keep in mind as this race progresses. And see eventually when they're going to take that jump into pit road. And see JP Chips get a really good run off of Vanilla Bear with that little bit of contact between him and John. But the 2 teammates of Lost Luck Racing now at the 6th and 7th looking to push their way further up the pack. Yurt making the jump in again. So Yurt's strategy approach is to stay on fresh softs as long as I can. I don't care how many tires I have to burn through. I don't care how many times I have to pit. I will be the fastest car on this track. As Nitro and Rum make their way around to turn 3 and 4. see the aerial view here at Northern Isles. The lights beaming down on these cars here into the night. Spotlight on these guys as this is the final race of the inaugural season of the Sportsman Series and the Stock Series as a whole. You see Vanilla Bear and John side by side in turns 1 and 2. Apologies, that's Perry, with JP Chips all the way up to 5th now, tailing Racer Chick for 4th place, as the Racer Chick's tires are worn, so yet again you can see here Racer Chick flies in the barrier, JP Chips makes it look easy. As Racer Chick is going to fall to Perry as well, and probably John and Vanilla Bear within a lap or two. We're going to stick along with Racer Chick and see just the difference in these tires that it makes. The racing softs that are completely worn. Try to stretch them as long as you can. You see Vanilla Bear's already there. Going to make the pass in turn 1 and 2 with John right behind them as well. I mean, at this point, Racer Chick's pretty much just sitting duck. So, best she can do is just stay consistent with the car until she decides it's time to pit. But for an L head up the pack, Rum Runner and Nitro, still 1 and 2. Trying to fight lap traffic now. Buzz and File behind, and Merman in front. Perry's going to take the dive in the pits. Outlaw in 3rd, pretty far behind. Chips in 4th, as that group of Chips, Vanilla Bear, John, and Phil a little bit further back from this pack, but all these guys pretty much racing together. You're back on the track now, switching to the racing hards, probably for a long duration of the rest of the race. He knew those quick succession pit stops just weren't going to be enough to get him through. Unless a caution does come out, which, to be fair, with the beat and bang and different speeds we have on the track, it's surely possible. It only takes one mistake to wipe out the whole crowd. But you see Outlaw here in 3rd, struggling with the tires but making his way up the track still. Rum Runner and Nitro also tough on tires. Let's take a look. JP Chips is starting to reel in Outlaw a little bit. 4th place. He is really gaining time with these racing hard tires. Not as worn as the softs. Obviously the hards do give you a little bit less base grip, but they will last for a lot longer. So the grip he has is definitely more than those softs that they have right now, as he is really just toenails length between himself and the barrier. Just put a hair through that and I don't even know if that would fit. But really riding up against that wall, JP Chips making the run up in 4th. Vanilla Bear a little bit of distance away now in 5th. With John in 6th. Tell you what, the strategy kind of worked for Chips and John. A lot more than I thought it would, though, especially more for Chips than John, as he is going to be reeling in the leaders now. You see Rum Runner up ahead. Will mention, JP Chips is a lap down, however. So the fact that Rum Runner, Nitro, and Outlaw have not pit puts them a lap ahead of everyone else on this track. They are a lot slower, but they've got a lot more distance on these guys. So guys like JP Chips have to gain a lot more ground, especially considering these tires are going to wear on his own car soon enough himself. So as long as Outlaw, Nitro, and Rummer can keep their cars on the track, they should lift, and they should hold that front position here. As we're already over halfway through this race, lap 56 of 100. Fuel will make it for these guys. So Outlaw, Rum, and Nitro have to make the decision. And I think they've really called their shot here. They're just going to stick through with these worn tires and just really force the car through this track as best they can without wrecking out themselves. Things may change if the caution comes out, though, and brings the whole pack back together. But for the time being, that's the play at hand. JP Chips has to get around these guys in front twice. As you see his tire width bottom left, not looking favorable. As he's had to push so far already just to get caught up with leaders once. I don't know if he's not going to have the tire wear to get around this whole track again and catch them by lap 100. Phil and Hufu side by side. You see a lot of fights going on between cars that are on different laps and different strategies. As mentioned before, JP Chips is 1 lap behind. So you take a look back here, and I feel like it's safe to say that also like a yurt is about to be lapped by Chips. In fact, I think he might be. So you have a 2, 3, 4 laps gap between these different drivers, but all of them still fighting each other on the track for their own positions as these different strategies come together. As Chips makes his way around Rumrunner, now chasing down Nitro to officially get himself on the lead lap. This will be huge for Chips if he can hold on and a caution does come out here, as Vanilla Bear is not going to make the jump into the pits. John in 5th. Very interesting with Chips and John. Obviously, they had that strategy planned and put together before the race, as both of them were ready to come in off the hard tires at the same time. But it's going to be interesting to see if this plan really does pay off, since, as mentioned before, he has to get a whole extra lap through on these leaders. As you see, Rumrunner already still faster than Chips now. This is the Warren Softs, as tedious as they are going to be faster than those Warren Hards. And now that you see JP Chips' front lap is completely burned, I think he kind of missed the window, missed the jump to get these guys up front and really make a shot for this win. And someone who's also really out of contention is Phil, out in 6th, as barring any massive catastrophe, Rumrunner should be holding clear, but I will knock on wood to not cause commentators curse. I don't know if that can stop it or not. We do see Merman File on a fight together with Garrett caught in the middle. As we're going to take it to just a clean action here for a few minutes, as everyone's just going to, myself included, just sit back and watch the action. As we come back, we do have contact between Perry and Rumrunner. Oh boy, that might change a lot here, as Rumrunner and Perry do make contact, and we're going to see Phil does get himself back on the lead lap here at the race, and we might see if that does call out a caution. That is probably the worst case scenario for Rumrunner that could have possibly happened there. The only chance that this championship standings would have flipped on its head is a caution coming out. It hurts that he's involved as well. We're going to see that may just be called as one tally though. We are going to check with the leaders to be sure, as this could be pretty complicated considering the leaders will be on further laps ahead. Does not look like that will bring out a caution, but it will bring out a tally for sure, as Nitro makes his way around the first turn of Northern Isle. Outlaw really struggling with those tires in second place. You did see though that JP Chips and John made their second jump into the pits, so obviously knowing their hard strategy wasn't working, and they're going to be sitting ducks sooner or later. Now Phil's going to make his jump into the pits, possibly taking a new set of tires, hoping for a caution to come out now. But that is pretty tough for Phil, considering his tires are worn, so it'd be hard to make a pressure on the leaders. But Rumrunner now a lap down, and Phil was sitting ahead of Rumrunner, well, at least when it comes to lap positions, if you would have been on the same lap as Rum Runner, say a caution does come out, at this point, most of these drivers just have to hope for a caution to come out, really. As Nitro is clearing ahead the front runner here to win this race. Get a second in a row here, as he is going to sit pretty comfortably in this lead. We do have 3 wide going over here as Rum Runner, Outlaw, and Phil. All these drivers together in contention for the championship, but in different race situations currently on 3 different laps. Phil does make the overtake around Rum Runner. A little bit too late for that, though. But again, who knows what can happen, as he's going to make his way around Outlaw as well. As things are getting really feisty here in the last 20 laps of the race. We're going to see if someone makes a move, someone gets turned, something like that. Make this race a little bit more interesting. But at the current moment, it is Nitro sitting very comfortably up front. I'll tell you what, a caution, if you're sitting in Nitro's position, a caution isn't necessarily what you want, but it's also not the end of the world. As, okay, we are under caution, in fact. We are under caution now. So we're going to see how we sort out this grid with drivers on all different laps. This is changing a lot. I will say... Okay, so Outlaw and Nitro are on the same lap. Let's try to get this sorted out. So Nitro and Outlaw are on lap 84 going on to 85. So Outlaw has a shot at stealing this win from Nitro. But other than that, Rum Runner... Well, okay, Rum Runner's on 84 going on 85, so all these drivers are on lead lap together. Let's see, Vanilla Bear on the lead lap. JP Chips will be a lap down. So everyone else, JP Chips and behind, will be a lap down. So, again, unfortunate break, I'd say, for Phil, since right now, if he had stayed out, he would have a shot at Rum Runner right now. But that is not the case, as Chips will be the lead driver for the 1 lap down cars as Vanilla Bear makes his way around to get the lead. Get to the lead pack, I should say. Chips, Race Chick, Hufu, John, Yurt, Phil are all a lap down, with Perry, Shaggy. So Perry is 2 laps down, Shaggy is 3 laps down, Merman is 3 laps down, and Bile is 5 laps down. Bile having a very unfortunate start, just couldn't keep the car together the first few times around. You'll see these drivers make their way around the track once more and get double filed for 1 more pace lap around to hopefully get us green going for 12 laps to go here at Northern Isle. Very electric finish here for the inaugural Sportsman Series. What a way to send it out, and Nitro and Outlaw are going to be fighting for that win with Rum Runner and Vanilla Bear right behind, both 2 drivers still with a shot to win this race. Nitro looking for his back-to-back wins and potentially a shot for the front of the standings as well himself, as he's not too far behind. Outlaw sitting in second. Rum Runner looking to extend his championship lead to third, and Vanilla Bear in fourth as a crowd of orange cars together. And they set off. Green, green, green. Once more, and hopefully one more time here around Northern Isle. As you get some colliding in the back is a huge, here's the big one. Yurt's around. The cat car is around. But I don't think that's going to be enough to cause a full restart. I do not believe it is, as we have some chaos on the back straight. But as everyone gets sorted out, we are still green. Rum Runner through the chaos sneaks into the lead. Outlaw looking to fight him for second. Nitro in third. Phil up into fifth. Vanilla Bear is one of the cars who got caught up in that wreck, so unfortunate break for Vanilla Bear, as he had a shot to win this, but now it's pretty much been thwarted. Phil watching these top 3 fight, hoping these 3 take each other out. John sitting right beside him in 5th. This is the race for 5th, and also the race for 1st through 3rd, all together at once. As Phil's going to get sideways. What a save from Phil! As he gets tabbed a little bit by the cars behind, push a 2 or 3 wide, including JP Chip. He holds on. Still in 6th. Vanilla Bear in 4th. We're going to take peek with the leaders. All of these cars are pretty much bunched together now. Rum Runner falling behind this pack, as yeah, he's losing time fast. It's Outlaw and Nitro fighting for the lead. as we have 7 to go here. Nitro, Outlaw, John going to get himself off of a lap down. Phil even going to do it as well. Phil has the soft tires, and Phil has fresh tires, so I may have spoken too soon. As he, well, let's see, he is 2 laps down. So it has to take something happening, but he gets contact with Nitro, as now the cars behind make a run towards him. We're going to see how this turns out here. About 6 laps to go. All the different strategies at play. So we see 4 wide through the back 2 turns. No more cautions won't be out, by the way. So it's really going to be green at the end. Whatever happens, happens. And we have to see how it pans out after the race. But right now, it's Nitro still holding the lead from Outlaw. He's getting his lead back after the start of this race. But a lot of lap traffic here to fight with, and he gets caught up with Merman, I believe that is, as Outlaw is going to make the pass for the lead once more. We got 4 wide on the back straight yet again, as we're going to see who takes advantage here. We've got a whole pack of cars together. We've got Outlaw, Phil, as Phil now himself, I do believe, no, still not on the lead lap, unfortunately for him, but Outlaw holding the lead, Nitro in second, Rum Runner making a run up for third. As it stands, Rum Runner should win the championship if it stands the way it does now. So, yeah, Nitro with an amazing performance, looking to chase down Outlaw to get his second win of the season. Though Outlaw himself looking to hold on for his first win of the season, first in a while in PRA, I do believe. But holding on, lap 99 here, as we're about to take the white flag with Outlaw leading the pack, Nitro in second. As indeed Merman tries to get out the way this time. Outlaw takes the white flag. Nitro trying to chase him down. Rum Runner caught in lap traffic with JP Chips, Vanilla Bear at 4th. But we do see Outlaw run through turns 3 and 4 and take the checkered flag at Northern Isle as Nitro comes in second. Rum Runner in third. Vanilla Bear, after the poor restart, does come through to 4th. Phil gets 5th. It's just not enough. And in fact, let's take a look here. Yeah, no, I don't think Nitro was able to jump Phil, but Nitro will hold 3rd place in the standing, so it's going to be Rum Runner, our series champion. And what a great job for him, Outlaw, getting a race win for the first time in a while. Yeah, we're going to see who we can get in here to talk to after that race. An outstanding race to close off the season here at Northern Isle. Outstanding performance from a lot of these drivers, despite all the chaos and challenges thrown at these drivers, from lap cars to tire strategies, all of the above. As we do have now B-Dog, the race official, first joining us in the booth. How are you?
Man, what a season for the Sportsman series. That was a crazy finish right there, AY, don't you think?
I was just gassing it up myself. And speaking of outstanding finishes, Man of the Hour going to be joining us in the party now in just a moment. The race winner of our final race of the Sportsman Series, Outlaw, as I'm waiting for his mic to come through on my end.
All right, AY's waiting on Outlaw's mic to come through. We're getting a Rum Runner, so Outlaw's our race winner. Rum is our Sportsman Series champion. AY, just go ahead and talk to these guys.
Yeah, there we go, as we got Outlaw in. First, I'm going to talk to Outlaw. Outlaw, how are you doing after that race tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, man. That was my first win on the season.
Congratulations, Outlaw. Hell of a run.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was one hell of a race from all of you guys, really, and especially the challenges thrown to y'all. Honestly, I don't have too many questions. I just want to congratulate y'all. I'll throw it to B-Dog in a minute, but first I will say, I guess question to both of y'all, managing with the lap traffic there and kind of the chaos of all drivers on different laps. How was that for you guys? I guess Outlaw, you can start.
It was tough toward the end. A lot of the drivers on fresher tires were wanting to come up on the track, and having the strategy that I did, you had to run high until when you got that right front down no tread on it. You had to stick high, and they just wanted to stick up there. So I got lucky that I didn't have to face too much lap traffic, but yeah, that was a scary moment up there for a few laps.
Yeah, I agree on that, especially on the tire strategy. I was on the same one. The second that front right was wore out, you had to be in the top lane and you had to stay there. You had no other choice. The last restart was definitely crazy. Like Outlaw said, a lot of people trying to get their lap back, but they were doing what they needed to stay in the race, so you can't necessarily fault them for it. But it did make for some hectic last 15 laps.
Yeah, it sure did. It was one experience to watch. I thought we were going to make it through without any cautions, honestly. I was impressed. Before the race, I called it. We're going to have a big one here tonight at Northern Ireland. We made it through like 80 laps without really much of anything. And all of a sudden, the floodgates start pouring open.
You know,
Yeah.
at being the race official in that race, I felt like it went as good as it could after that caution. It was running perfect till that caution. But then, we had people on different strategies. Some people on fresher tires, some people were on hard, some people were on softs. I felt like for the majority of it, everything ran as good as it could have. Towards the end, I know we had contacts with the leaders. But other than that, I felt like everybody was giving each other the respect that was needed. The leaders, they took it upon themselves to communicate to the lap traffic, hey guys, the lap guys would say, where do you want us? Leaders would say low, because like Outlaw said earlier, once that right front tire went down, you had to go up to the top. So I got a question for Rum and Outlaw. You guys are on the same strategy with Nitro. Rum, what made you want to just stay out there the whole entire time on softs?
After about 500 laps of practice through the laps last week, the time differential to make a pit stop, you could not make it back up. And if anybody decided to make one pit stop, it would have took a caution for them to catch up. And when they started making multiple, there was really no chance that they could have got back around us.
Yeah,
Exactly what Rum just said. Same thing. I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, and I pointed that out, us watching from the booth as well. I pointed out seeing the different strategies at play. Not going to point anyone out in particular, but there's a few strategies I kind of questioned when it happened, honestly, because I was thinking at the time that, I don't know how you're going to expect to make it around that fast. We saw some drivers catch the lead pack, but it's like by the time they caught the lead pack, they'd already burned through their new fresher tires. And then you just realize you got to go around a whole nother time, and you just don't have the tires to do that now. That
Yeah,
you used just getting around one time.
Yeah, 15 laps, front right was done.
15
Wow.
laps, I think, is generous. But yeah, I'm just gonna give both of y'all congratulations one more time. Outlaw for the race win, and Rum Runner for winning the Sportsman Series championship. Congrats to both of y'all, and I will now throw it back over to B-Dog for any questions he has.
Thank you, AD.
Yeah, guys, as the owner of PRA, you want to see drivers like yourself, Rum, come in new to the series at the beginning of the season, and then you came in here, you practiced your butt off, you showed up every week. You didn't get discouraged when you missed out race one. You just practice. You had an amazing opportunity all year to capitalize, and you capitalized on all those opportunities. And as owner of PRA, I'm very happy that you have been crowned our champion. And it's going to be really hard to keep you in Sportsman next year. There's a good chance you will be racing that Sylvia, so buckle up for that one, buddy.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, and by the way, he's a free agent, and he's going into the draft. So, people had the opportunity to re-sign him the whole entire year, to sign him up on a contract. Nobody did. He might be your number one pick in the draft now. So, that's going to be interesting to see, most definitely. But other than that, Outlaw, congrats on your win. Rum, congrats on the championship.
Yeah, no, I wanna say thanks, B-Dog, for putting on the league and everything y'all guys do to make it possible for guys like me, Outlaw, Perry, Phil, Nitro, all of us come in here, have fun, run together, and enjoy a night off.
Most definitely, and we appreciate you guys. All right, AY, go ahead and close us on out.
As I will one more time for these guys, congratulations to Rum Runner and Outlaw.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good off season.
And thank you everybody for tuning into the stream.
And thank you everyone for coming in. And the season's not over yet for the whole stock series, but we will wrap up here with the Sportsman series. Be sure to tune back in tomorrow night and Thursday night as the Challenger and Elite series respectively will be making their run at Grand Valley Highway. So be sure to check us out there as both of those series close up as well. Some very tight championship fights there as well. So not just going to be Rum Runner here taking all the spotlight, as much as we do give congrats to Rum Runner yet again. Be sure to check out tomorrow night and Thursday night as the championship fights in those series will be heating up. So thank you for joining us tonight. Myself, B-Dog, our race winner and championship winner, we will be signing out for tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow. So everyone, goodbye.
Good night.